YouTube channel Truth, and oh gosh, it's giving me some prompts that I don't want. So here we go. This may be my last live stream, I'm not sure. I've had several death threats and attempts on my life. This vehicle, the Prius Truth Mobile, is going to go to the Conway Pick and Pull salvage yard because it has a brake actuator $2,900 repair bill to get it on the road. I had an estimate for it. The hybrid battery is good. Pick and Pull in Conway sells the batteries when they have them in stock for $100. And although this is a rather nice vehicle, it's got a catastrophic fault code. Sometimes people, dealers, or auction houses clear codes, and this vehicle had the brake actuator running when I got it. I thought that it was just a normal part of the hybrid system. Well, it had the problem, just not the code, at the time that I bought the car. And as I'm sure you know, you bought her. So I bought it, and now I've got a, do I need another Truth Mobile? I've got this one. I'm gonna take us for a ride and talk about it. It's not very economical, and currently it's got a phantom electrical problem or so, maybe a fuel problem. I can typically run the engine for about a half hour, and then it has a tendency to just shut off at any time. Pretty unsettling, especially under the circumstances. So I'm going to take you around back. Oh, where in the world could a wind chime hang upside down in relationship to any other wind chime? What I want to say for the alphabet agencies listening in and anybody else, I do have a security system in effect. It's my eternal security system, so I'm literally not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That's why I do what I do. So here's my backyard, and I want to show you where the bullet came from in the general direction and how it would be very unlikely an accident, especially since it happened less than a couple of days after apparently the NSA contacted me. There's a pond, a row of houses, and a roadway, and another row of houses. So I'm not saying that I believe one of my neighbors is shooting at me. What I'm saying is, for a bullet to go through the screen, bounce off the glass after it broke this all out, the bullet is sitting right there, and that's the damage it did to the frame. So it's like a .22 caliber bullet. And so it would have come, I'm just going to pan on over here, I'll show it to you from this angle. So it came in at a level trajectory, apparently from somewhere over here. Okay, so I'm going to get in the car, take us for a ride, and talk about this. I've got a research library that encompasses a wide variety of topics. Interestingly enough, for the last 3 years, we've had unusual occurrences. This is June of 2023, and we had a motorcycle / COVID death in the neighborhood in North Myrtle Beach. And interestingly enough, the same cause of death, COVID, happened to professional, or I should say, people in nursing homes. And then, interestingly enough, there's been a lot of deaths that now we don't know the cause for. Professional athletes and people that had medical treatments or didn't, and it's a little bit awkward. A lot of people dying. I've got documentation on the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars video, where I continue to load hyperlinks that will go to platforms with less censorship, because Google/YouTube and the quantum computers that are operating basically the world system, the beast system, the mark of the beast system, is censoring heavily. In the last few days, actually within the last 2 weeks, I should say, my library has been gutted, and many others as well. My saved playlists encompassed a full spectrum of topics, from artificial intelligence, health and wellness, world banking, world government, the beast system, all of that. Those saved playlists were turned private, not just on my channel, many channels. So, for those of you who are unaware, we don't live on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating globe hurling through the universe at imaginary speeds. We live on a stationary level plane. That's the reality of the world we live in. And that's whether you like it, believe it, or not. Whether you like it or not, doesn't agree with you, it's not up to me what you do or believe. So, I'm unapologetically biblical in my proclamation of the truth about everything. If you think I've missed something, you could send me a link in my phone number. Oh, just to let everybody know, I won't be directly commenting on any of the live chat, although it's visible for others. And the reason, because I'm driving and I won't be able to see it and respond very well. That being said, the research library, although it's been greatly diminished, still has powerful proof for the truth that I'm exposing and talking about, the truth about everything. So if you think that I've missed something, you may have some information that you would like to share, maybe a deathbed confession, maybe something. That's how we get some of the information we do. People gain a conscience. They may have done a lot of terrible things in their life, and they want to make it right as best they can by exposing the truth about something they became aware of. I'm talking like may have worked for one of the world governments and were involved in unacknowledged black budget type of activity where it's largely unknown by the administrations and the political leaders of whatever country. I'm not anti-American. I'm just pro-life and pro-truth. Now, the bullet came through my window, broke the glass shortly after a representative, a person wanted to get me involved in their white supremacist movement that had hundreds of people on a compound in an undisclosed location at that time. To me, I'm waving to the Tesla supercomputer, the quantum computer that sees as it drives. So I'm going to go back to this. The person that tried, he said Hitler was right. Oh, okay. Well, I don't agree with that. I believe that the Nazi war criminals should have been treated appropriately. Unfortunately, many of them were distributed around the world. In our country, it was called Operation Paperclip, where Nazi war criminals were involved in the implementation of the OSS that became the CIA, and then we've got NASA, of course, with Werner von Braun. All known war criminals. You can see Annie Jacobson and her scholarly book and her sultry voice commenting on it, with millions and millions of views. Many of you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't, you may want to look into it. I would say the short answer is the truth matters. The more important the question, the more important an accurate answer is, of course. Let me just flip this around. It's shaking a bit. I guess that's just the way it is. I've got it tightened up good, but that's what we got. Okay. I guess it probably isn't quite. I'm going to do a GoFundMe for a car replacement. It's bigger than that. I could keep the car. I don't even know if I need another car. I go to the beach in Main Street and see thousands of people a week in the busy season. Like last night, it was just tremendously busy on Main Street in North Myrtle Beach, and I met some amazing people that were wide awake to a lot of what I'm talking about. This was a couple groups of college students. But then there are groups of people that are busy seeking distraction and, unfortunately, entertainment for their taste buds, in which case they're going to be experiencing sugar highs and crashes. I used to be addicted to sugar. I'm a free man. Free from sugar, free from alcohol, free from drugs. I like my strong coffee. I tried it a year without coffee. I like it better with. I know I can do life without coffee if I need to. I can do life without a lot of things. The me that I used to be actually died, though. So I was born again of the Holy Spirit, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, the true Creator, the living Word, the living water, the great I Am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. How about that? Do you know Him? Well, I do, and that's because He made that happen. You see, I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. Even though I was spreading Jesus all over what I did, from full-time ministry work at Rawhide Boys Ranch from New London, Wisconsin. You can see me in group photos there, and I was one of their well-respected employees for many years, for a decade, from 91 to 02. And yet I was struggling, trying to live life in my own self-effort. We were homeschooling foster parents as well, and well, I had a struggle with tobacco from time to time and alcohol. I'm free from all that. Don't need it, don't want it, don't have the appetite for it. In that time, I also was selected to lead character development classes for a mega church, Christ the Rock Community Church. The reason why I mention this isn't to say, look at me. I simply want you to realize that as I looked in the mirror and I was struggling with things I was supposed to be free from, I just wanted to know what was going on. The answer to that question was really important, and that's what when I came to find out, the reason why I struggled with the flesh so much is that's all I know it. So now that I'm born again, I'm in good hands with Allstate and the Almighty. I was conceived in the mind of God before the foundation of the world, along with all of my brothers and sisters, the children of the Most High God. Now, the other awesome thing is that I don't determine the results of what happens. I just am responsible for the obedience to do what I'm created to do. And to that end I labor. He gives me a strength, a protection, and direction that I previously didn't have. A passion, power, a personal perspective that I didn't have as a spiritually dead man. That's just the way it was. That's how I found it. So when I was actually born again, apparently on, it was October 31st of 2014, a holiday, a holy day that's celebrated by the fallen one and his family, Satan and the demons and the Satanists and the well-meaning, unaware family members and people that will take their children out to trick or treat, All Hallows or Druid holiday. We've got a lot of satanic holidays or holy days, but they're unholy days from a Christian perspective, that celebrations that were Christianized through the year to inculcate unaware individuals. I'm still spitting out a lot of the mucus that comes out of the sinus passages. You might think, oh, that's gross, Robert. Well, what's worse than spitting it out is swallowing it and then it hitting the hydrochloric acid in my stomach and then crossing the blood-brain barrier and affecting my cognitive function. I'm a student of everything that matters. Neuroscience, biology, physiology, gene editing, theology, CRISPR technology, you name it. World Central Bank, weapons of war, the truth about everything. How about that? I'm a student on the truth about the truth about everything. I'm going to try and tighten that. You know, it's not happening. I've got that shaking going on. I'm stuck to the windshield of my car, and I would like it to not be like that, but it is what it is. Okay, it's not me holding it. I'm not jonesing for anything. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is make a broadcast, a live stream that may be my last. And whether my channel would be taken down or I would be taken out. So I'm in good hands with Allstate and the Almighty. Literally, I have Allstate insurance on my cars, and when I'm either that car is going to go to pick and pull, where they offered me $500 for it, or there's another individual that fixes them up and sells them. He may be interested. I met Wally today again in our neighborhood, who knows of this gentleman who works on them. Because of the nature of what's happening with me and in my life, I'm going to run the original Truth Mobile while I can, as long as I can, even though it's not real economical and it sputters a bit and has some electrical personality. That's a nice way of putting it. Stranded me in the middle of traffic at rush hour, and cars were dodging around me. I had my hood up, flashers on, nearly rear-ended by a semi. I could see him in my rear view mirror coming up, and he barely hit me. He swerved around me over by the Bell & Bell Buick dealer, right at 9 and 57. I'm in the North Myrtle Beach area. I'm on Highway 31 right now. Because of what I do, exposing the truth about anything and everything, I believe it would be very legitimate for me to have a reliable economical vehicle to do that. I've got a limited financial resources. I'm not Oliver in the little story where he's begging for soup. You know, I'm giving people an opportunity that have the means, some of them, to participate and to fund me. I'm saying I want to have a GoFundMe. They might, or Go F me. Go F yourself. Go fund yourself. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I see things in a somewhat of a dark humor, funny kind of way, and yet it's tragic to see people making decisions that are going to affect their life here and hereafter. And yet with the sovereignty of God and the reality, I believe, the doctrine of election, also known as predestination, everybody is going to be where God determines. Wow, is that unpopular? Oh well, it is what it is. I believe it to be true. So, change my mind. Here, let me change my mind like the guy sitting at the table. So, the truth isn't popular. It's not based on popular opinion. It's not popular nor an opinion. It's just the reality, the truth of the matter, whatever that matter is. I'm going to have to stabilize that shaking phone or camera. Okay, so mutually contradictory perspectives can't both be correct. The law of non-contradiction. You can check it out. I'm into philosophy, psychology, sociology, physiology, a lot of the ologies, biology, like I said. Okay, so mutually contradictory perspectives can't both be correct. In fact, they may both be wrong. There may be another option that is the correct one. I'm going to talk simulation theory. I believe simulation reality. Are we living in a simulation? Absolutely. And we're living in a base reality. I'm in a base reality doing a live stream going down Highway 31, and some people are watching. The people driving by right now around me, seeing the Truth Mobile and the Truth Guy in it, are seeing me directly. If you're watching me online on a device, what you're seeing is a capture, transmission, regeneration, and storage and regeneration of this digital occurrence. It's not a video, it's a digital capture. We have supercomputers that are actually managing the human herd, the cybernetic collective of humanity. So some of the wealthiest billionaires in the world are following me and know about me because I'm exposing them in what they're doing. Do you think that would be of any interest or concern? Yeah, because I'm a directed energy weapon, directed by God, energized by Him, and I'll do whatever He wants me to do. As best I can tell, it's what He created me to do. So that's why I'm doing this. I tried pleasing others, didn't work so good. Have you ever heard it said you can't please everybody? I'm telling you, I found out that it was hard to please anybody, and especially myself, okay? And my self-effort and self-pleasure provided a tour through a lifestyle of hedonism, where I was trying to make myself happy, even by doing good deeds, okay? There's no amount of good deeds and benevolent activity that can save anybody. So the Bible, I believe, is God's word, and it's true. And according to Scripture, God created us and prepared and caused His children to be born of His Spirit. And at that point, we're empowered and directed to do what He created us to do, living out our purpose. Have you found your purpose yet? Hello, purpose, where are you? Well, it's going to require divine intervention. The Almighty God is going to need to remove the veil from in front of the heart and the eyes of perception. So, does it feel like the Twilight Zone to you? Sure kind of looks like it to me. Very bizarre. World events that are sometimes fabricated in the imaginations of think tanks and generated by supercomputers that can create digital imagery that is virtually, pun intended, unrecognizable from reality. How about that? I could sit down at the table and talk with just about anybody. However, I wouldn't be accepting any invitations to Davos, the World Economic Forum, or the Pentagon, or the White House, or meetings with NSA agents or CIA. I'm not into any of that. They're just going to have to meet me wherever I am, doing what I'm doing, and meet up with me. The alphabet agencies right now, in real time, know where my phone is and how fast it's going. And yours, pretty much. It's not just that I'm a targeted individual. Humanity, especially the Almighty's children, are enemies of the state and the beast system, the mark of the beast system. Are you ready for that? Hey, no amount of guns, beans, bullets, chickens, plants growing inside, and a fortress living in is going to take care of the storm that's coming. Because ultimately, when the biological interface with this dimension ceases to function, when our physiology stops working, when we die physically, What then? You may have degrees and billions and trillions of dollars. None of that is going to buy your way into heaven. Heck, you may think that heaven and hell don't exist and Jesus is a fairy tale, like a whole bunch of other deception that's out there. Well, you're about to find out. How about that? A lot of the technocratic transhumanist overlords that believe they can create their own situation by uploading themselves to the cloud and programming their reality. I got some news for you. From a biblical perspective, there's the Almighty God who's all powerful and knows everything, and he's holding everybody accountable. And right now it appears, well, how it appears. I like to say seeing is believing. What? What do we see and what do we believe about it? Is our belief about what we see an accurate representation of what's actually going on? I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing and what you're believing about it. There's a turtle that didn't make it across the road. I typically carry Walmart bags in the motorcycle and in the cars I drive, and I rescue turtles. Take them home and put them in my pond. It's not my pond. It's not my car. It's not my Ray-Bans. It's not my body. It's all his, the Almighty. So when I pay $1,500 for a car, put $200 worth of lettering on it, and then sell it to the salvage yard and have a $2,900 estimate to repair it so I could drive it, and then I end up scrapping it out about a month later for $500 or so. It's all his money. It's all his stuff. It's his world. But actually, to counter that, the but there is kind of important. God is, or Satan is according to Jesus, the God of this world. He's the prince of darkness. He's the ruler of the power of the air. Okay, so I also feature alternative energy, suppressed technology, wireless generation and distribution of electricity. We have portable electrical generators that use magnet motors to create an energetic field that can power electric vehicles. So they don't necessarily need to be plugged in to charge. For gosh sakes, you can have one that's powerful enough to water generator, albeit a 3,700-pound Lexus atmospheric water generator. That water that's dripping out on the ground under the car could actually be filling up a container. I've sent that idea to Elon Musk in a video almost 4 years ago. An atmospheric water generator recovery bottle. Kind of like the recovery bottle for antifreeze that the guy got $1 million for apparently in the 70s when General Motors stuck a hose in a bottle to recover antifreeze instead of dumping it out on the ground the way cars used to do, old school cars. How about that? I just extrapolated from that we could recover water. And you might think, well, there's water all over the place. Well, not if you're in the desert and you're dying of thirst. You might want some moisture that was recovered from what little would be in the atmosphere in the desert, but what you're exhaling. The Aptera 3-wheel car that's out of California. I went out to the plant and saw it over a decade ago, and now they're coming up and scaling up to production, have nearly 1,000-mile range, and can charge the battery from the sun, the solar panels on the vehicle. You can see it in my research library if you care to. There's over 420 hyperlinks I add to it daily in the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars document. Isn't that special? Exposing the truth about everything. Like I say, if you think I've missed something, you can put it in a comment. You could send it to my phone number. Heck, you could give me a call any time of the day or night. There you go. I know how to block bullies when I need to, and I know how to defend myself even if somebody threatens to kick my ass. That happened recently. Actually, a couple of guys. They know who they are. They're probably watching this video. How about that? And I've got people that say, I would love to wipe that smile right off your face. I had a caller say, I'm going to rip your effing throat out. How about that? I've had a call that says, out of the Oakland, California area code, say you got 10 hours. I said, 10 hours for what? 10 hours to live. Well, that was a few years ago. How about that? Yeah, and then I've had near fatal commercials. They may say you may have unusual thoughts, more frequent urination, and you may think about killing yourself and your loved ones. Nope, they don't talk about that. They don't even mention suicidal ideation. Isn't that special? How thoughtful that they would leave that out. Or how about medical treatments like injections that had blank inserts? How about that? And how about they used to know why everybody was dying? It was the same cause, whether it was professional athletes or senior citizens or car accidents. They were all dying of the same cause on a lot of the death certificates. What's with that? Well, obviously I'm talking somewhat cryptic right now, or else they'll take my channel down. They might take it down anyway. Heck, they might try to just take me down. How freaking exciting is that? And you might think, well, that's just crazy talk. Well, it's the world I live in. Like when I'm at home at night, I've got the lights off in the house. I can see outside. I can see when a car goes by really, really slow on that street one over from where I'm talking about, where I showed you this morning, on the other side of the trees. Yeah, driving by really, really slow. What were they up to? I don't know. You know what? I was gonna get gas, but it's a little more complicated for that procedure. I only need a couple gallons probably. And even though Costco, oh, that's where I am right now. I'm going to flip it around. I'm at Costco right now, and I'm going to just park the car over in the shade. I'm going to show you where I'm parking, and it'll be visible by the patrons that come here to get fuel and stuff. I even brought my own Himalayan salt to put on my rotisserie chicken. How about that? So it says do not enter. My last live stream from here had the Prius Truthmobile. However, it's got a fatal fault code that sends it into limp mode, and it would need to have the brake accumulator or the anti-lock brake system replaced, which is about a $2,900 repair. If you can get the part yourself and put it in, I'd suggest a new one, because that was a problem with that particular vehicle. I bring that up because I still like the Prius. You may have a vehicle that belonged to a loved one that's no longer here. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe they transitioned because of the worldwide genocide that's been going on. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. They've used a variety of tools and tactics and propaganda and pollution in the food, water, air, activating it with electronics, very sophisticated mind control technologies. So it says do not enter. Wow. But I reckon I can be walking barefoot on it and just flip it around and give you somewhat of a view of what people will see. And if they're kind of curious, they can come on by and say, well, what the heck's with that? Well, like these people, what will they do with that? I'm not responsible for the results. I'm responsible for the obedience. So when I wave at the Teslas that have the supercomputer, monitoring the drive and the person, knowing how fast the cell phone's going. And as a bonus, if they've got technology like an Apple Watch or Ring or whatever else, they would know the heart rate and other vital signs. How about that? I've had people say, "Are you a racer?" Well, I have been motocross racing, and I can drive cars really fast if I need to. I've been on race tracks, Elkhart Lake, Road America. Anyway, I'm going to mosey on into Costco, and I could put on my Truth shirt if I feel like it. Oh wow, look at this. An Allen bolt. I'm keeping it. I'm taking it home. Might come in handy for something. So, obviously you can see me right there. It's a window and a mirror. We can see me, the reflection, and we can see through. It's about the lighting. See what happens with my hand? So it's about perspective. We see through a glass dimly. It says, do not stop, do not enter. Do not enter. Some people can't see the signs. They can't see what's actually going on. They see and believe largely what they want to believe. They don't want a deity telling them what to do, saying, you can't change your plumbing and padding or your gender. Well, you can. I should say you can change your plumbing or padding and be a transgender, but that's all a perversion from a biblical perspective. I'm just simply telling you what I believe it is. Not only will that be hate speech, the Lord Jesus Christ, also known as Yeshua, told us what the truth was, and you can see his word in Bible.com. You can listen to it. I listen to his word day and night, and I meditate on scripture day and night. And in real time, I want to know if he wants me to go left or right, what he wants me to do all the time. Why would I want anything else than his direction? Talk about, you want a crypto consultant? You want a consultant on your portfolio? How about you want a consultant from the Almighty to tell you what matters about everything that matters? Like, where are you going to spend forever and why? That is, I believe, the most valuable or the most important question, and then to find out what that accurate answer is, the truth about it. What is the truth about where you're going to spend forever? So these people coming on through here, driving on by, will take a look. They may look more closely and snap a photo of that, or not. I don't know. Not up to me. What a freedom to realize that the mess that this world is in is not my responsibility to fix it. I can do what I'm created to do for the glory of God. That's why I do this. So I don't just go in and walk around in Costco. I'll pick up a few things that I need, and there you go. I think I'm going to go ahead and, okay, so I want to show you something. Here's the atmospheric water generator puddle. See that water dripping there? That could come in real handy if you were dying of thirst. And it could actually be deposited in a bottle like I've got in the car right now. Like, for example, the Aptera that has solar panels on the roof and a climate control system. Well, that vehicle can actually draw water out of thin air. Coastal areas are great for that because there's a lot of moisture in the air. The temperature differential draws the moisture out of the air. Not so much vibration now. That's pretty cool. Yes. Another day. How about it? I think I'm going to adjust this down a little bit. Okay, that's kind of nice, right about there. It wasn't just that. I wanted to have it so when I flip it around, you'll be able to see people driving by. Who knows what's going to drive by there? Probably not many Teslas, because they don't need to get gas. However, they need fuel. Electric cars are great, especially if you're making your own electricity, harvesting it from the sun, or having a portable magnetron type generator drawing from the quantum energy field that's all around us. This may sound crazy. Take a look at Nikola Tesla. When Elon Musk was asked who he thought who was the genius, or what he thought of Nikola Tesla compared to Edison, it was kind of weird because he venerated Edison, and Edison was a monster. He was electrocuting animals and trying to scare people away from direct current or alternating current. How about that? I've got a video of a battle between a rap battle, on epic rap battles between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. It's hilarious. I've got humor on my channel, and they're like a meme, a video meme. You can look at it, see what you think. Okay, so when I'm bathing in reverse osmosis carbon filtered drinking water, and I add powerful electrolytes, what are those, Robert? Well, I'm going to tell you. A tablespoon of each of the following. Boron, which is borax. I get it at Walmart. 4 pounds for about $5. And then baking soda. I can get 13 or 14 pounds of it for about $8. Tablespoon of both of those. Himalayan sea salt. Very important electrolyte. As well as lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt. I get that at Costco here. When I lean back in the water and let the water go into my sinuses, and then I spit it in a cup like this and use it to shave with. How about that? It's better than any shaving lotion. Oh, that's gross. That's better than, you wouldn't want to, I mean, you would swallow what's coming out of your, up out of your throat or down out of your sinuses, or you could spit it out. Would you want to swallow shaving cream or shaving gel? I don't think so. Not so good, not so healthy. Well, anyway, I also put 7 drops of each of the 2-part water purification system that I get from Amazon or Walmart. It's called chlorine dioxide. I like it. How about that? Any health benefits you may realize from that would be your own experience. So I've got documentation of the benefits of it that I cannot talk about here, or they'll just take the video down as medical misinformation. How about when medical misinformation, according to them, is actually the truth? We've had it happen the last 3 years. How about that? The truth is truly stranger than fiction. That is bizarre. But it's true. The cognitive mind control technology that's going on through electronics and a putrefaction of our environment, food, water, air, information, publications and propaganda presenting that themselves as fact through the education system from cradle to grave, literally from the cradle, sitting in the crib with the mobile of the planets and the sun, moon, and stars moving. We had it in our, or no, the earth spinning apparently, but the truth is hidden in plain sight. We had the mobile with the celestial bodies moving. How about that? I hadn't quite thought of it like that. There's a nice Tesla Model Y, right? I don't, yeah, you can see it right there. Maybe you could. Right, it was in the middle of the view. But they don't need to get fuel here. Some people are really upset with electric vehicles and all that. It's one of the coolest things ever to be able to take the energy that's all around us, whether it's the sun, the wind, or even better, a magnetic field that's generated in a magnetron generator. You can see it in my playlist if it's still there. They may take it out of there and it may be in an Odyssey video. So like when I was in my electrolyte enhanced drinking water bath spa treatment, I have a power cord, or it's not actually a power cord, it's a grounding cord going into my bathtub. Now I have it plugged into the wall, and probably a better way of doing that would be getting the ground from outside where it's not running right next to the other two wires. You know, in a 3-prong, I'm using the middle prong. How about that? Yeah, and I'm flipping off the New World Order and Satan, the fallen angels, the fallen family, Satan's children. I'm flipping them off with the Truth Mobile and me, the truth guy. So I've had videos where I say that I'm exposing the truth about everything. Like I say, if you believe I've missed something, go ahead and send me a link, put it in a comment, give me a call. But if you're going to tell me we live on a spinning water ball, hurling, wobbling, and gyrating through space, I would say, oh, poor baby, you got yourself all deceived. So, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refused to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a strong delusion so they would believe the lie. In the last days, there's a delusion that's so strong that if possible, would deceive even the elect. However, by the grace of God, in His provision and discernment and direction, He will help us to know the truth. And the truth shall set you free. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? I remember seeing that verse growing up on a silo. That's an animal storage concrete tube sticking up next to a barn. And on it was that statement, that verse from the Bible. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? That farm belonged to Jan Gillespie. She died of cancer a little while back. It belonged to her parents. They founded, Jan and John Gillespie founded Rawhide Boys Ranch, where I worked, and Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packer, helped add legitimacy to that organization and a ministry I co-labored in as a vocational instructor for over a decade, redirecting young men's lives with a traditional, now not so traditional, Christian model of nurturing and directing in a biblical manner, in an old-fashioned manner. Meanwhile, we were homeschooling our sons, foster parents for several young men, and then we were living in fixer-upper houses, really nice. One of them was a farm, It was on 100 acres that surrounded, it was the original farm, a classic out there on N404, County Road D in Reedfield, Wisconsin. You could see it. I had a gentle little rolling country ride to Rawhide Boys Ranch, and then I was chopping and splitting firewood to get ready for Y2K. We had a generator and storage tanks for fuel and a way to pump water up out of the well. And then if that failed, I had a PVC tube with a one-way valve on each end. It was a bucket, so to speak. I could drop down into the well casing and pull up a gallon of water. The water was only 30 feet down. And then we had artesian wells in the area where the water just came up by pressure, artesian wells, water-seeking level. The water at the Great Lakes was higher than where I was. I believe it's the Suez Canal. It's long and relatively shallow and has no locks. There are waterways that connect oceans that don't require locks. That's where they change the water levels. You can look it up. The Earth is stationary and level. It's not a spinning water ball with people stuck on it, sideways and upside down. If you believe that lie, it simply means that you're deceived. If you believe that Jesus is a fairy tale and that that's all a thing of fantasy, then you're deceived on that too. Some people have huge hunks of the truth. What if they have the most important thing wrong? What if they have the most important reality wrong? Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Ray Kurzweil, Jeffrey Hinton, Sam Altman, Tucker Carlson, DeSantis, Trump. I could go on and on and on. Put any name in that blank. Do they know the truth? Are they free? Or are they merely a puppet of Satan? I don't know. I don't have to know that, because this isn't a timeshare sales pitch. It's the most important apparent choice, or the most important information you will ever try and determine the truth of. Where will you spend forever and why? Because if you believe that this is all there is, and then when you die you're just worm food and have no conscious awareness, I believe you're wrong. I believe that. What I know is I have a passion, purpose, a power, and an eternal perspective that I previously didn't have. It's the power to do what I'm created to do that really got my attention. My wife Joni said, "You knew right from wrong." I said, "I get that. I just didn't have the power to do it." Go look at a alcoholic on the street and tell them they need to stop drinking. Like they don't know that? Hello? However, how about you pretty it on up and put them in a suit or a skirt, and they're all professionally coiffured. I do my own hair with a Flowbee and a wall trimmer. A Flowbee is a vacuum cleaner attachment that precision cuts the hair. Part of the funny humor of that was when they were shutting down the salons, I was thinking AI is looking to see who's getting coiffed, who's getting a good hair, or did they just buzz it off, looking like Walter White, or maybe just a number 7, just a shortcut. And anyway, like look at like BlackRock, Larry Fink, buying up homes and kicking out senior citizens because they can't afford the rent. How about that? How about Bill Gates buying up farmlands? How about him poisoning the food with additives, knowing full well that it's going to feed the medical industrial complex with a bunch of poisoned people that are going to go to them to get help, and they're going to further poison them with their treatment. Hello, the medical industrial complex. How about the financial industrial complex, where they create money out of thin air, lend it at interest? Wow, what a scam that is. How about the military industrial complex, where they convince people to build weapons of war to kill each other? Well, when they offshore manufacturing facilities in our country, and they've done that with textile and manufacturing, and then they come in with, let's say, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, or McDonnell Douglas, and they pay them gobs of money. Money, big money. What are they going to do? Say, nope, I don't want to do that. Well, they've got a family to support. What are they going to do? So that's why it's so difficult. That's why I'm asking for help. And a caveat to that, I will continue to say I'll do as much as I can with what I've got to work with. Because of the Almighty God's sovereignty and Him working in and through me, I've been heard and viewed over 40 million times through the Flat Earth International Conference series. It was at Raleigh, North Carolina, then Dallas, Texas, and Denver. Well, Denver was in 2018. You can see the Truth Mobile there. When I was interviewed by the people that made the mockumentary for Logan Paul and the Netflix Beyond the Curve, they recorded me for hours and didn't put me in that video. I'm glad for that. But if they would have put me in that video, that would have been okay too. The truth is not afraid of investigation. It's not intimidated by anything, and neither am I. That's why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. So when I stop this broadcast, it's going to take a while to see if and weigh out whether or not it's going to allow it to stay up. However, I believe it will be over in the Odyssey platform. How about that? And if you're fortunate enough to hear this broadcast or this recording, I would say seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. The truth matters. For those that... Oh, absolutely. You're on a live stream right now. Hi there, I'm Robert Forsch. I've actually got you on a live stream right now. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Here, let me bring this out. How nice for you to come over. I'm Robert Forsch, and you are?
Kelly O'Brien.
Kelly O'Brien, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. So I've got a live stream, and rather than repeat all of what that was, you want to go ahead and take some pictures of it?
Yes, I do.
That's cool. And to commemorate this, let's see, I'll hold this up and you, how funny.
Awesome.
Yeah, so last name O'Brien, first name again?
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yes.
So Kelly, you're interested. Do you have any questions you would want to ask me about anything at all?
Not right now. I hear a lot from my parents, and
Yeah.
I do my own research, and so I'm just waiting for things to happen.
Okay, so along those lines, what I'm going to say, Kelly, is that I'm covering the truth about everything.
Okay.
And if you think, or anybody that's watching this or listening to this can send me a link to my phone number,
Okay.
or give me a call. I'll give you a card when I'm off the broadcast.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and cut the live stream. Thank you all for watching. And this is very characteristic of the experience I have, where people are curious and want to know. This is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. Thank you so much.